What's up, guys? I'm fresh home from fucking work here, and I want to bring you guys a message. This is mainly for you new subscribers here. All right, I went on uh, a big spiel a couple times about how to properly navigate this channel and stuff, and I've also griped a bunch of times about how people don't know things in the channel when everything is organized. So I mean, yes, there's a lot of videos here, but a lot of the key things that people need to see or want to see here are organized in a video playlist that are like 6 videos long. So yes, there's 166 videos on this fucking channel, but they're all also very organized. They're also all very organized here, so you can find them easy. Now the thing is here is the reason why I'm saying this now is because while I was at work today, I was fucking around on Snapchat, and like I promised you guys, like I said, I will poke in from time to time and look at your shit and possibly say something to you if I see something that warrants a question, or I feel warrants a question. And I was poking around, I saw a B18 with a turbo kit being bolted onto it. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. B18, is it built? Yeah, it's built. Oh, it's even better. Nobody really builds B18s and pushes them. So that's cool. I mean, I'm excited. This is actually something I'm looking forward to. I actually want to see the numbers off this build. So I'm, poking around a little bit more. It's like, so what size turbo did you get? And it's like GT25, something or other. And I'm like, whoa, that's a really small turbo for a built block. And I'm like, shit, dude. Well, you might want to get a bigger turbo before you waste your time and money tuning, because you're not going to be happy with those numbers you're going to get. Anybody who really knows anything about turbos, or if you didn't know about turbos before and you've watched my videos on it, you know that that's damn near like the smallest turbo that you can really get, besides like a factory turbo off somebody's, off of, a stock turbo off of a factory turbo setup car. That's about as small as you can get. So with the size turbo he had, you're looking at like maybe 270, 280 horsepower, maybe 300 horsepower under high boost. So I was like, well, he's like, well, what turbo should I get? And, normally, you guys know that I fucking hate to answer a lot of questions, but it seems how I initiated the conversation. I didn't want to make it look like I was spamming or anything, looking for views, so I threw the guy a fucking bone, and I started, giving him tips and advice. And I was like, okay, so, yeah, you definitely want a 35R. Or, no, hold on. Let me back up a little bit. I said, what's your horsepower goals? And he hits me with 500. I'm like, 5 fucking 100 horsepower? 5 fucking 100 horsepower off a turbo is like this fucking big? Are you serious? First off, like, dude, how the fuck do how do you set 500 horsepower for your goal and not realize that there's something wrong with a turbo that's like barely as big as your fist? Maybe a little bit bigger, but fuck, dude, So the whole thing is here, the message for you guys is this. Like, first off, like, if 500 wheel horsepower is your goal, you definitely need to be doing some research. Now, in this day and age, as I've said plenty of times before, 500 wheel horsepower is easy to reach. But it's still a respectable number. And if you don't set up your shit properly, you will struggle and fall short. So, if you're going to be fucking shooting for 500, you really need to do your 500 wheel horsepower research. And if you're new to this channel, you're a new subscriber, and you're fucking building a turbo setup, you look at my turbo playlist. It has like pretty much everything you need to cover to do a successful boost setup for whatever fucking engine you're running. If you happen to be running an H22, I'm talking about that right now on the channel. That's like the main topic for the next week or so, H22 shit. But if you're new to the channel, please look through the fucking playlist. And if you're doing a turbo setup for your car, before you go any further and fucking kill yourself with this shit, look at my fucking turbo playlist. Everything you need to know to get started properly is there. Because, guys, I wish I had somebody who could tell me this kind of shit that I know now when I was doing my initial turbo build. Let's see. I had my shit tuned fucking 6 times before I finally was settled. On one setup, 6 fucking times. So, the first couple times was a fucking freebie because, it was initial build with the people I had it set up with. But everything else after that was out of pocket. And it's like $350 a fucking tune. If you're not paying $350 and you're not at on a fucking real dyno, then, yeah, I don't know, you might want to rethink your dyno options there. But anyway, it's just... I know that the channel, the recent growth spurt we had is dead. It's died down. We're barely moving again here. But since the last time I guess I did an official turbo talk outside of the H is I think it's been a while, maybe like back around or before 1,000 subscribers. So there's like 400 fucking people who decided to click that fucking subscribe button. And today, Snapchat, I was shocked to find that one of my subscribers on here really didn't know much about the turbo setup. When I'm like, turbo is like my thing here. So this is me telling you guys. Snapchat. I may not post on there a lot. When I do post, I post a lot of shit at one time. But I don't post on there very frequently. But I am watching your all shit if you're doing car stuff. And if you're a little nervous about asking me something directly, and you're throwing some shit up there like that, there's a good chance that I'm gonna see it, and there's a very possible chance that I'll be nosy too. So hopefully I'm saving this guy some time and fucking money, because $300 some for a fucking tune, and the tuner's time and his own expectations. I promise you guys, the worst thing ever in the world is to go to fucking tune your car and then walk away nowhere near the numbers that you expected to get. I was promised 400 horsepower. I was promised 400 plus horsepower on my very first tune. And I was promised 400 some horsepower on my first setup, and I was given 216 at first, and on a retune I made 272. Know your shit before you go. Do your shit properly before you go, because every time you go, that's money in the bank for the fucking tuner, and he's not gonna fucking cut you any slack just because you didn't do something right and you want to change something. Anytime you change something on your setup, it's a retune. It's costs more money and time, because a lot of times, unless everything's perfect when you go to the dyno, it can fucking spend hours there, and that'll blow to fucking spend all kinds of time there and then walk away nowhere near where you want to be. All right, guys, that's just a quick message from me here. Like I said, I'm not even really prepared. My phone's fucking dead, but I wanted to talk about this right away when I came home, and now I have. And here's that. I hope to have the Type R video up this weekend, and the live stream is still set for Sunday, late morning, early afternoon, Eastern time. I always forget to mention that, guys, but I am on the East Coast. And I guess peace for now. Thanks for watching. Take care, guys.